Wednesday, Wendy out there, and I have the pleasure of trying to handle things. Our esteemed professor, general managers out handling other business because we do business in more than one place at one time. Mm-hmm. But we have been joined. That's right. He done blown through. Got a cap on too, Mr. Sweet Lou.
What's going on, Breakdown? How y'all doing?
Peace.
How's everybody?
Chilling.
Everybody's well?
Everybody well.
That's good, man. That's good. So I'm glad we got some clarity on the Women's March.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? The top of the start of the show.
There's a lot of questions about it. It was a lot of questions. It was just like that Beyonce album. Like you went to sleep, wasn't no album. You woke up and it was an album and it was number one. Like, how did this happen? I just took a nap.
The Asian market.
Right.
The bond market was at work.
Well, again, I mean, just looking at the numbers of the Women's March, it definitely superseded the inaugurations numbers.
It superseded that, as well as, like the Queen said, a lot of the Black Lives Matter marches as well.
Yeah, that's
so
true.
It was.
That's true.
I mean, we did when I think it was when Mike Brown was murdered. That was when you saw kind of a more worldwide type of deal, but that's fizzled down since then.
Totally.
It doesn't matter who marches now. So for them to be able to get such a great following behind that, and again, I'm a woman. I sit down when I go to the bathroom, and I didn't get an email or I don't know what they sending out carrier pigeons because
Vegas is a little slow.
Vegas ain't. I was squatting. That's why I went wrong that time in the woods in that public bathroom. That time I missed my opportunity. No, like the young lady said, they were expecting 500 people here, and there were 4,000. So somebody.
Now 4,000. They were 4,000 where?
Look,
I heard Vegas.
They were downtown, weren't they?
Mm-hmm. I saw the little path in the paper after the event. Like I said, wasn't here, but. It was really for Vegas. That's an amazing turnout. That's
correct.
Like a
loot
party.
What they did. what did they do? Because let me find out the Black Week numbers.
But it just shows the power of social media.
Right. Say that again, AK.
Let me find out that Black Week don't look like that.
Right.
Did I do it? Oh,
no,
okay.
Black
I thought
Week.
You
No, you got it. But,
okay.
We'll talk about it because that's in full effect. But I don't want to interrupt the flow because we have a guest.
Yeah, true.
We're
and
gonna
I don't
talk about
all
of this.
Exactly.
All of this.
Well, he's a familiar voice and part of the KCEP family now. He tries to keep us busy because there's a lot of businesses and there's a lot of ways to connect with businesses. We have quite a few business shows.
Absolutely.
So it makes sense that we would have another and try to develop that arena since this gentleman is representing his forte of the Blackbook.
Yes.
Am I saying that right? Because I got a black book. I had one.
Same one.
Okay.
You better have gotten rid of it. You better have gotten rid of it.
I got rid of that book.
Yeah. You had to have it.
Thank God I got rid of that
That's why you're
book.
still here.
Well, see, now we got your new black book.
All right, these are businesses. I ain't got to hide this in my drawer.
That's right.
I can put this on the coffee table.
These are businesses.
Yeah, that's right. But it's in your phone. So, when you put your phone on the coffee table, you put the black book on the
Let us
coffee
introduce
table.
you first, brother.
Okay?
He's a familiar friend.
He
wants to get in.
That or introduce himself. He just went in.
Well,
Who are you?
Well, tell us who you are, what you do, where you've been, and welcome back to the evening known as The Breakdown.
Well, thank you. I always love coming to The Breakdown. My name is Brian Harris.
No, I'm just kidding.
I'm the owner of the Blackbook. The Blackbook was designed over 4 years ago with the whole intent of us doing business with each other. When I say us, I'm talking about black folks.
Okay.
I went through a period where I heard a lot of negatives, where I heard people say, we don't have a lot of black businesses. Or I'll hear people say, yeah, we should support black businesses, but they got to get their act in order.
Okay.
And I started to do some research, and I started to visit black businesses. I visited over 400 black businesses here in Vegas alone.
Wow.
And I found that to be the big lie. The big lie was, that we don't have a lot, because I probably have only captured at minimum 20% of the black businesses. Because black businesses are not just brick and mortar.
Right.
They're your insurance companies. They're your independent sales reps. They are people who are out here on their grind trying to make money so that they can support their kids and support the community. So the Black Book tries to identify those folks. So when we go to buy our cars, that we maybe look at a black dealer, black independent sales rep, or when we're going to get a mortgage, we go to a company that's a black mortgage company, but that we start doing like the rest of the Asian communities, the Hispanic communities, we give us first take to win the business instead of the last take. And then the big thing that would hit me is people would shake their heads, say, yeah, First place they go is to Walmart. We got to change that Walmart mentality where we say, no, we're going to go and we're going to do business with our brothers and sisters. It might cost a little bit more because they don't have the juice that Walmart has. But if they're competitive, you know what? Spend a little bit more money.
So let's dive in. Let's talk about the real issues. Because you and I have had extreme dialogue. We've talked about this thing for many, many years. And again, I support you. Definitely support you and endorse you on what you're doing because I think it's a necessary.
Thank you.
Because again, I'm a capitalist and, I make no mistakes about how I think.
He's a venture capitalist. Come on, man.
Okay, I received that too. But let's talk about, some of the comments that are made that when black people do business with black people, the level of unprofessionalism that exists and how that sometimes knocks us off our square. What is your take on that? Because you ultimately, and I've seen you single-handedly, go around the community, man, and trying to engage black businesses because you're always talking about, blacks doing business with each other. But what are your thoughts about that?
I thoroughly agree. We have a small percentage of people that need to be coached, trained, and given feedback. And guess what? Not all people should be business people. I'm not saying support them just because they're black. But I say this. What we find is when we have a positive experience, we keep it to ourselves. But when we have a negative experience, we tell 10 people. It actually should be the reverse. And here's the thing. We should be talking when we have an issue with that directly with that person and seeing if we could resolve it. Now, one of the things, if you're a Blackbook member, is I ask people, come to me. I had an incident where it was completely a misunderstanding. I happened to say hello to a gentleman, and he was mad about the service that he had with the black business. And I asked him, hey, can we go over and can I go talk to him in your behalf? And I talked to him, and it was a completely different version of what I heard the other one. I said, hey, can you guys come together? Can we talk about it and get some resolution? Well, after the conversation, that person actually explained some things that the consumer didn't realize. And on top of that, he gave them some things, and he walked out as a happy consumer that says, you know what? I'm going to keep giving them my business versus going and telling 10 people and his friends about how bad this service was and why he'll never come back. So communication and really getting past, and I'm going to say this, we still got a slave mentality. We got to start thinking when we talk about us, the positives instead of the negatives. We've been taught to look for and actually be happy about when we're negative. When we're saying something negative about somebody, we got fire and brimstone. When we talk about positives, man, we're real quiet. We don't want to talk about it. So it's changing the behavior.
I think that comes from both ends of the spectrum, though. Like when you look at that issue, because I agree with you, there's no question that we are definitely in a post-traumatic stress situation that is a direct effect of slavery. There's no question about that, but it's on both ends. So just like a black consumer will walk into a black business with this attitude, they better have this right. I bet they gonna be dirty. I bet they gonna be this, and I bet they gonna be that. Just like they go in there, the black business owner a lot of times has a negative attitude towards their consumer being black. Almost like here they come with that, I bet they finna ask for a discount or the hookup and things like that. We all have to change our mentalities. Business owners, you have to have it to where a person does feel welcome coming in, to where they don't feel like, I'm apprehensive about spending my money here, as well as the consumer should go in with the intentions of going, okay, I'm not walking into Walmart right now. Walmart has had not only at least 30, 40 years worth of building up their stores, their brand, but they also have had over 100 billion customers to build up their stores, their brand, their locations, and things like that. And keep this in mind, you can still go to any Walmart in the country right now at any time of day or night and still be forced to spend an hour in line, even though it's 30 some odd registers that are there. Now, you're going to complain about that. You're going to be upset, but you still going to go back there the next time you got to buy something. We don't treat black businesses like that. All they have to do is mess up once and it's a wrap. We going on Facebook. We telling people don't shop there and things like that, but you'll tell them don't go to the Walmart on Lake Mead. Now realizing that the Walmart on Craig is putting the same money into the same bank account account that the Walmart on Lake Mead is putting their money into. It's the same company.
Correct.
We don't have those types of ideals when it comes to shopping black. We're so apprehensive on both ends of the spectrum. And at what point are we going to stop being our own worst enemies? We fund our own supremacy.
Correct.
We are quick to go out. Like, you have all of these people out here marching, holding poster boards, but you marching for black rights. You bought that poster board from Walmart. You bought the markers that you use to draw on it from Walmart. You're funding your own supremacy while telling us not to.
Outstanding. I'm gonna give you one too.
Wow.
This is a little take, and you were right on the money about it's a double-edged sword, because we got another problem that I'm gonna bring out, and a lot of people won't like to hear this.
Bring it out.
We have we have some black businesses. They're hiding in plain sight. They don't want to be considered a black business. They're successful. And so they believe, though, if they are known as a black business, they will then not be successful.
Okay.
You even look at who they hire. I mean, one of the things that we need to do as we support black businesses, we also need to demand that they hire some of the people who look like us. Not everybody, but some. So when we start also supporting them, then we can put more requirements on them to support us.
So let me ask you this, Brian. Because again, the community talks, and of course, there's been a lot of conversations that's come my way about you, and are we mentally prepared for what it is that you're doing?
Not yet.
As a community, are we? Because again, and we've talked, and I've told you, I've been saying, man, a lot of people are annoyed by you.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? A lot of people are, peed off by you. He comes around and like that guy, and I'm like, they're not capturing the good and what you're trying to offer. So are we ready for that?
Real quick question. They're annoyed by him, like his persistence.
Yes.
They're annoyed by that.
Yes.
But they're not bothered by the ads popping up on their Facebook timeline.
Right.
They're not aggravated when they go on a blog or something and you're bombarded by, I'm just making sure.
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead, Brian. My bad.
Did you guys watch The Matrix?
Yes.
Of course.
Do you remember when he said, do you want the red pill or the blue pill?
Yes.
Not everybody's ready for the blue pill, and
Correct.
I can't worry about the people who are still taking the red pill. Yes, you're right. I can tell you, there are people who would love to see me fail. There are people who have said, why is he still around?
Yeah.
But the bottom line is, I love being black. I love supporting black businesses. And I tell you, I'm not a minority. I'm a black man trying to push the fact that the only way we save ourselves is through a black economy. If you think about it, some people say, he always talking about the economy. Well, guess what? This is a capitalist society.
Yes, sir.
And, we can't talk about government giveaways or government assistance, because the truth of the matter, whether Republicans or Democrats on there, they ain't never taking care of us. They ain't never taking care of us. So we got to take care of ourselves, and we have to understand. We've been taught, and this goes back, I don't see color. Or we've been taught to be afraid to be black and proud. And we have to go back to what our forefathers were and say, we're black and we're proud.
Yes,
we're
sir.
supporting our black economy because we wanted to support us. And if you're going to basically gain from this economy too, you need to be part of it.
Well, hold on, being part of it, because we didn't even ask for phone calls, but they calling to talk to you, Brother B. So we're going to interrupt you for a second, and we don't want to have people on hold too long, because we get calls about that.
Yes.
I've been holding Mr. G, and I'm going to tell Craig he need to come. No, let me stop. This is The Breakdown. Thanks for calling. What you got? But welcome in. Good evening. Kelly, how you doing?
Hey, yeah, so I'm so glad you're talking about this topic.
Wow.
I'm dealing with a scenario just like this where I contacted a certain organization or basketball organization looking to get some support to help my son increase his basketball skills. So, okay, I think I'm connected up with a good organization. They don't tell me when practice is canceled. I text, I call, I leave messages, and then a few days later I get a text to say, practice is over here. And I'm like, okay, what is that? I called you, I left messages, I texted, and I didn't get a response, and I'm just now getting a response. And his response to me was, it's all good. And I'm like, no, it's not all good.
Right.
It's all bad.
It's all bad, right?
Yeah, I'm acknowledging my inconvenience. It's really nonchalant. And I choose not to deal with organizations like that. I mean, I really try to support Black organizations. I'll find a way that I can, but it's really frustrating when people just have really casual attitudes about dealing with customers. I mean, I don't care if you're a volunteer organization. I don't know. Like, I don't really know like their business format. This particular organization, I believe, is like a volunteer organization, and they're volunteering their time to be there, and I appreciate that. And my sponsor, I support with my money, you know, and I feel like the best way that you can tell me that you appreciate my organization or what I'm doing and vice versa is to support and see what my services work.
Well, I'll tell you what, if you hold on 1 second, because what we have to do, we're going to keep on going, okay? Keep on flowing. I'm sorry.
Well, let me just say this. Again, I totally understand what you're griping about, and I totally agree with what you're griping about. And just, you're speaking from an organization, a basketball team, but the dynamics is somewhat set up as a business. But again, I can agree with that, because when we look at the way that we do each other and the etiquette that we do not display and the level of non-administrative skills that we have, we take that into our business. And I want Brian just to comment on this as well, because we take each other for granted, but but don't give up on the team. Don't give up on the coaches, because a lot of times we just have not been taught that administrative approach to getting things done. So we treat each other, we have our own language in our communities when we tell each other it's all good, whereas it's not all good. Where it's not all good, you know, and where it's not all good. And so, well, no, I totally agree. But again, as I said, we have a certain language that we speak to each other.
It's called wrong.
Where we take each other for granted, you know, but we have not been taught. So he thought that you were that same type of parent that would have understood him saying it's all good. Yeah. But you are different. You come from a different cloth. And I think that you should have actually just let him have it. Told him about himself.
She's doing that now.
But
yes, she's doing it now.
but here's a couple of issues to look at. Now, I said this earlier. Not all people are put together to be businessmen. And even though people who have nonprofits, it's business, and that doesn't necessarily mean that they understand that they are a businessman and what they need to do. We should be given corrective feedback. We should let people know what they're doing. And if they are not worthy of being in business, we shouldn't support them. But guess what? Don't lump all the other black businesses into that negative experience.
She didn't. But Brian, let me ask you this. With what you're doing in your crusade, are you offering any type of training? Because I believe that, we have big hearts. We're big heart people. And so I just believe that the team or the organization just didn't have the administrative skill set to be able to communicate with her appropriately. So are you, or is there anything out there?
If let me just I don't know if you have something like that, Brian. I hope that you do.
Okay.
Do you?
But hold on, we gotta take the top of the hour. Just hang in there. We appreciate your call. We're gonna try to get to some more people. We appreciate the dialogue. Ms. Timms, let them know where we are. We are back from the breakdown. Al just put it down. I guess Al's making it happen for us in a big way.
That's the most drawn out top of the hour. Thank you for listening.
Don't mess with the short strike.
Sheesh.
In any event, this is the breakdown. We have the pleasure of sitting in with the lovely and effervescent, the lovely
Lady
queen,
A.K. Advanced Knowledge.
And right across the table from her, he done blown through.
Touching on himself.
Yeah, that top of the hour got me playing with my
Pastor Kavasi.
And I got us lighting candles in here and stuff. Like, wait a minute. Oh, no, it's not that time. It's not that show.
Dan Franklin G. As our general manager is out handling our business in another location because we multitask up in this place. Yeah. And we're blessed to sit apart from our new business partner here, part of the KCP family. Talking about black business with the Blackbook. We got phone calls for you. I guess you like me. They stir you up. But AK was in the middle of something, so we'll let AK finish and then we'll get to your calls.
I do. Actually, I wanted Brian to be able to answer Lou's question before.
Okay, two things. My business model, and it is a business model. I'm a for-profit business. The Blackbook works just like Yelp, except 50% 70% of the businesses are at least 50% black owned. But just like Yelp, you can leave comments, positives and negatives. Now, I'm hoping to have 10 positives for every one negative. And this goes on to Yelp. So when you put a comment into the Blackbook, everybody sees it.
So what's the website? So you said they can contact. What's the interactive site they reach you at?
You can www.theblackbook.directory, or you can go to your Android Play Store and type there's a space, and then Blackbook is one word.
We'll repeat that again. Since you mentioned, somebody probably want to get to it right now.
Yeah. So I can't be everything to everybody. Okay. So if a person directly comes to me, then I try to coach and train that person. Obviously, if they come to me and they're comfortable, I'll work with that person. But I don't have any specific training because my avenue is about providing a marketing strategy to our target market being African Americans, and also creating networks so we can network together and do business with each other. But some of the soft skills, there are actually some businesses on the Blackbook that they can go and get business consulting and business training. We're trying to, as I get more and more soldiers, we want to expand to do more of, so you want to start a new business where we actually train people how to start and give them some coaching and some training at the beginning. But right now, the answer is that's a needed product, but it doesn't come from the Blackbook right now.
So it's no. All right. So the answer is no. Now, the reason that I asked that question was because I didn't want to go into my whole little thing. If it was something available, and we could just say, "Hey, go to that." But I want to say this: being a founder of a grassroots organization myself, I treat AK's Closet like it is my job. I don't receive a dime. I come out of my pocket on a lot of stuff, but that is my job. When I'm out handing clothes out to the homeless, yes sir, no sir, yes ma'am, can I get you something else? Is there anything else that you need? What can I get for you today? How's it going? I'm treating it like it is my business, although I don't receive a dime from it. That is not something, I feel like, I said this last week, we are the most excuse-having people I have ever encountered in my life. All that we have are excuses. I don't want to hear that nobody is business savvy out there, because you got a job, right? You got a job. You had to put something together about yourself to go in there and get that job. Now you're working this job. You're telling me you've picked up nothing? No people skills? You, as a consumer, you don't know how you want to be treated? I don't get that part of it. And I don't care if you're volunteering your time, because you made the decision to choose to volunteer your time. So if you're going to do it, you're going to do it all the way, or you're going to move out of the way, please, and let people who are prepared to get in there and do the work. Because what you're doing is you're making a bad example for the rest of them. And people do treat us like we're monolithic. They do group us all together. So you are setting a bad example, a bad precedence for the people who will come after you. So I say again, to all of the dance groups out there, organizations, little groups, we help the kids, we help the boys, we help the girls, get out of the way if you're not in this, to treat it like it's your bread and butter. If you're not ready to do that, then you're not ready to be in this place. Now, what I would like to also say is, anybody that's out there that feels like, hey, I think that that's something that we should have, that's something that we need to look into doing. We need to actually have seminars for black businesses and say, hey, these are what your consumers are saying. If you really want your business to flourish, because you have to think about it like this. Walmart didn't get to where it is by not having in-services, by not having training, by not saying, before you get promoted, we need to teach you how to do X, Y, and Z. So we need to start looking at ourselves. When we say we want us to be like the Asians and we want us to be like the Latinos and things like that, they have something that we don't have, and that's organization.
And the realities, and great point, AK, and the realities is that there's been a lot of conversation over the years, particularly with the gaming industry and a lot of the vending with African American businesses. There's been a lot of initiatives set forth in terms of trying to get African American businesses to get a piece of the pie. And it has come back because I've served on some committees where they said that, you know, black people just didn't have their paperwork together. You know what I'm saying? They just didn't have it together. And so time and time again, you know, and like I said, I know you're out there, and again, you know, this particular community where we depend on a lot of government dollars. You know what I'm saying? We talk about the employment in our community, but most of the employment in our community is coming from non-entrepreneurial type of backgrounds. And so everybody's doing well because they're getting government grants and loans and those kind of things in our community. And then you look at the faith base, the faith base has even jumped over into, the nonprofit money. You know what I'm saying? And so when we look at the makeup of the African American community, entrepreneurship or black ownership is what percent would you say?
Well, as I said, I don't have a percentage, but as I said, I have over 400 businesses here in Vegas alone. And you hit on a key issue. With the changes of the government, you're going to find less of those dollars. So we better become entrepreneurs. And I want to kind of take it a step.
Before you take it another step, because I know we got some people, he's already been waving at me, because we are entrepreneurs here too, and I don't want them riding and calling. Right. I've been on hold. Wait. Let's get to the phone and the family.
Let's go.
You have your show. It can also contact you on the Mondays at 10:30 a.m.
Correct.
You also on Facebook Live.
That's right.
All right. Then, so there's other ways of contact. We're just making initial programming here just to make sure everybody gets aware that this publication does exist and you need to support it. Okay, let's get to the phone line. Good evening. Welcome to the Breakdown. AC, sorry to keep you on hold so long. What you got? Good evening.
Good evening to everybody. How y'all doing this evening?
All right. What you got?
I got my comment about African American business is that I would just like to say that I feel if there was more awareness, like the young lady said, that's sitting on the panel, that successful businesses are people who have a plan set and know what their business is and their vision and mission is for their business. But I think what we felt that as a culture of a race as America, why our businesses don't succeed well as other cultures that come here from America and exceed as well as us, is that they stick together on the knowledge of someone else how to properly operate their business. Like she said earlier, we need to give seminars or some kind of something. It just can't be y'all only way that we hear about these businesses. Because a lot of businesses we don't even know that exist that are black.
Oh, really?
Well.
That's why you need to download.
For example, hair care products. Black people should be the richest people in the world with hair care products.
Right.
We're giving it to the Koreans, or we're giving it to the Philippines. And we ban it from everybody else.
No.
We buy more Nikes, more of the name brand things to anybody, but we go to everybody else to get it but us. We got to learn how to come together, share, and stop being scared to share the knowledge to see somebody else get more dollar than you. If my business is succeeding, then you should come to me. Why would you start a business and go don't go ask questions first before you waste your money? If I'm going to if I'm going to open up a radio station, I'm going to come see Craig Knight. Because he's been in business for a while, and y'all doing great things for the community.
Thank you.
And y'all giving us awareness and keeping us abreast of everything that we need to know that we ain't going to get from the news.
All right.
Okay.
So therefore, with you all guys, if more people do what you all doing with their business, share how to make a business and what to do when you get it and how to keep it, we will support it. We will come to it and buy. We spend money every day. We got to eat. We got to dress clothes. We got to dress our kids. But we always go to everybody else because they have the chain and the supply and demand that the other ones don't have the inventory on. Because this company over here is too scared to tell this company over here, hey, this is how you do this. This is how you get a 501c13 done. This is how you get a government grant. This is how you get your inventory paid for.
But what would you say? I mean, I'm not just so we could dialogue for a second. There are so many classes that I know are offered from our black elected officials, the small business corporations, and even other shows that we host here. What would you say that those facilities do exist and we don't capitalize on them?
Mm-hmm.
Well, no.
Well, you part of the panel now, son. You done the phone. I'm saying, even though you say those things we need, I'm saying that there's substantive enough means out here from different groups, elected officials included, even how to pass a bill, but we don't participate.
True.
Well, again, it goes back to awareness. Okay, just for example, if you all wasn't speaking today about black businesses or any business, or any organization that can help anybody that needs help, we wouldn't have that.
Well, that's what we do here.
Right.
We don't even know they exist in Vegas.
But isn't that their fault?
Well,
would you say that that's their fault? I mean, thanks, appreciate you calling, because we got some more callers.
People have to be taught how to market their business and
right.
Market and put put themselves out. Well, we got the internet now. We got Periscope, Skype. It's no
But no. See, you just defeated us right there. I was with you for a second. Yo, how are you and I dialoguing? What are we using?
The radio.
Okay.
All right,
Power
my brother.
88.
So appreciate that. You know, I was with you for a second when you went to that social media.
This is the thing. There you go. I might not know everything.
Right.
I can take correction.
All right. Well, there you go. No.
Right.
It's all love. It's all. Don't worry.
Give me the correction so we can keep moving forward.
All right.
Don't look at me failing.
No.
Woo-woo-woo.
Okay. Woo woo. But KCEP.
We need to stop.
What's that?
Don't be so quick to say, hey, you don't know this and I do.
No.
It's
It's
all
okay. It's okay.
No, we
It's
don't-
okay.
You do this way.
Sir,
All right.
but we don't need to.
This is a brainstorm conversation.
There you
Correct.
go. So then. All right.
Brainstorming that you win.
But we absolutely right.
Outthink each other.
Thank you, sir.
This ain't what that's about now.
So,
So
what,
we gonna make mistakes.
so what we need to be able to do
Lord, the bottom line
is not get emotional. Yes, sir. Absolutely right. Thank you, sir.
Oh,
You're right.
okay.
Yeah, but America don't care anything about us.
Yeah, and one of the things
Go ahead.
you said that the Black Book was created so you can find these businesses that you knew were not here in Vegas. Do you know we've got a Dream Mattress that sells furniture, and they'll work with you. If you come in there and you give them a price, they're going to work with you and they give you quality, just as good quality, if not better quality. We got this place called Bouncy World. It's a beautiful place for your kids to come in. It's very professional. It's friendly. When you start to reach out and look, you're going to see there are so many good black businesses out there.
And let's redirect something here, Brian, because black folks, we will support black folks. So we're not against supporting each other. It's just that initial experience, when it's not satisfactory, then we turn the other cheek. But I just want to make a point that when it comes to the last call, and he mentioned the black hair products, and he's absolutely on point. But I have a friend that's an Ethiopian friend that actually owns her own salon and supplies. And again, that industry is regulated. And I too said it's ridiculous that we have to go in. I have to go in and get my DAX from somebody who doesn't look like me.
Yep.
You know,
And she tell you.
She tell you, right.
She tell you.
Is this Hollywood?
But they're Hollywood.
I know 'em.
But they're regulated, and Hollywood told me that she's Ethiopian, and when she tries to go in and make certain purchases because of the color of her skin,
She can't get them.
they regulate it, right?
Yeah, they won't sell within a certain area.
They don't sell outside of their own culture.
But the thing is, we're buying. Consumers can change that until we change ourselves. And I'm going to jump back. The reason. Let's go back, and people don't want to talk about it, but there's a big distinct difference between us, black folks, and minorities who come over here looking to increase their economics. They come over here. They weren't brought over here. They came over here
That's
because
correct.
they saw the economic
That's
opportunities.
correct.
Black folks, if you think about it, we were brought over here, and for 200 years,
And hated again.
we had consultants like Willie Lynch, where they put together a plan to say, how do we
Speak up.
make black folks hate themselves? How do we basically keep black folks down so they mistrust each other? And the truth of the matter is, I go back and say,
That's an excuse,
yeah,
man.
well, no, but
we
the-
ain't gonna use Willie Lynch
but-
anymore moving forward.
but I want to use the but I
don't
want
go
to
there.
give you a fact.
I get it.
If you've been in slavery
I get
or
it.
captivity,